What up, Laker fam? It's your boy DTLF back on the post-game video, baby. What's up? What's up now, Bulls? I told you guys, man, they were on their BS. Listen, revenge is a dish best served cold. And wow, did Austin Reeves just put the stamp on that sucker, man. Austin Reeves scores on Patrick Beverly, who, by the way, had a bagel, right? A 0-point game. This is what I mean. He flaps more than what his game talks, right? And that's what always gets him and his teams in trouble. He'll do too much. They won the last game. They beat us in Staples Center on some BS. And he talked all that mess, right, during the game and after the game. And boom, there you go. That is your insta karma for you right there. Served by the Lakers. One LeBron James, one Anthony Davis, one Austin Reeves, one D'Angelo Russell. Wow. What great games they all had, by the way. But I love the dog that Austin Reeves has in him, man. He forgets nothing. He has the true Mamba mentality. He is our killer, man. And he made sure to let this young man know. You know, not even young man, grown man. He made sure to let him know you too small for LA, bro. That's what that was. You're not too small for me only. You're too small for LA. You know, he was talking about, he's a spoon. We used him like a fork. He was a damn sport tonight. That's what he was, because he had a bagel. Matter of fact, new nickname alert for Patrick Beverly, Bagel Boy Pat. That's his new nickname, because he putting up too many bagels this season. I swear. But, man, major props to Austin and the Lakers, man. They just killed the Chicago Bulls tonight. Final score, 121-110. Everybody was sensational, guys. I'm talking Anthony Davis, 38 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. 17 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds for D'Lo. And, boy, what a difference he makes. He's just such a floor manager anytime he's out there. I love it, man. I love that kid, D'Angelo Russell. And some people were starting to turn on him because he's hurt, but this is why he's worth the wait. Randolph said, I love beating the Bulls. Chicago, what? Sit down. Yes, sir. Tell him, bro. Shout out to my boy Randolph, man. Listen, D'Angelo Russell was sensational upon his return. He started off rusty, but he slowly but surely started knocking down big shots and making plays. 17-4-4. 25-4-7 for one LeBron James. By the way, he has not lost a beat. Okay, listen, whatever he did, whatever food procedure he did, whether he went to Germany or not, whatever the rumor may be, man came back looking like the Terminator. I saw a different gear on LeBron probably since 2020 bubble. Like, he looks rejuvenated. He looks rested. The league is in trouble if he's going to look like this every other night. Okay, because this dude is cold, man. Fear said Austin got that dog in him. That's why we love him, man. That's why he needs to stay in the starting lineup. I've been telling y'all for the longest, this dude is a starter, all right? He's starter material. He's going to stay there. Now, the bench is a different story. We need better rotations, but shout out to Reeves, too, who, by the way, had 19, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, and a clutch, too small for me celebration on one Bagel Boy Pat. I loved it. And then Vanderbilt, let's not forget about his elite defense. So check this out. 38 points AD, 17 D'Lo, 25 LeBron, Austin Reeves 19, and 8 for Vanderbilt. You talk about parity, you talk about depth, there it is. That's why that needs to be the starting lineup. There's a lot of balance amongst all of them there. I love this starting lineup. They play well off of each other. The chemistry's there. Floor spacing's there. Playmaking, slashing. It's all there. That's exactly how they need to play moving forward. Now, the bench, man, I got to say, I hate to call him out because he's going through some struggles and stuff, but Malik Beasley, man, every time he was out there, it was turnovers, it was missed shots, and it was poor play. Now, coach got to do a better job of if he's having that type of ball game, sub him out. It's that simple, man. Even if he plays the next game again, gets the same minutes, don't care. We need an in-game adjustment type of coach, and so far, Darvin has not been that. Adam said, when we are clicking, we are kicking. I like that. He said, chips. Bro, this team with this starting lineup, this is the first time we've seen this starting lineup. This is the starting lineup we've been clamoring for the longest, and here it is. And it's in the flesh. And every time it was out there, it was above. It was so superior to the Bulls starting lineup. Too bad D'Lo couldn't play on Sunday, but the outcome might have been different because he takes good care of the ball, unlike Dennis. Dennis gets sloppy with it at times. El Figueroa Sinatra, I like that name. He said Pat Bev helping the Lakers with the 0-5 from the field goal, minus 32. He's a sport, bro. They don't know if he's a spoon or a fork. According to him, we're misusing him. Well, tonight he was in between a spoon and a fork. All I know is that this dude has always talked a lot. Even when he was a Laker, I didn't like him talking. When he was doing all this like Dame time celebrations to Pat, I talked about it. Like, your mouth gets you in trouble. The next time we faced them, they cooked us. Remember? So this is what I never even wanted Pat to come on the team. He does too much of this with nothing to back it up. Bagel Boy Pat, perfect nickname for him. It's gonna stick too. Watch, just like Call of Duty Dennis when he plays bad. Mama Mentality said, "This is the starting we hope for." He said, "For now, Ham fixed the bench." Facts. It's simple, guys. It's not hard. Look, he didn't play Rui Hachimura the last game. Rui Hachimura came out here and had himself a nice little ball game. I might not always show in the numbers, but he had timely buckets with 6 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist, and some solid defense as well. Um, he needs to play. There's no way in hell Malik Beasley played the last game and my boy Rui didn't. All right. I know he's infatuated by guards because he used to be a guard himself. But at some point, you got to play the best players available. Again, tonight he failed. He allowed Malik Beasley to do whatever he wanted. What's up, buddy? He allowed Malik Beasley to do whatever he wanted. And even though he struggled, and I get it, he's going through some personal issues, didn't sub him out. That's why my problem is not with Malik Beasley. He'll get, hopefully recalibrated in the near future and play better. My problem is with coach. He doesn't make the proper adjustments. He's not an in-game adjustment type of coach. So that's the unfortunate part, man. He said OKC won at the buzzer. Yeah, it's a tight race. Luckily, the Mavs lost, though, so we're starting to create separation from the Mavs. So that is the good news on that. And also, the Timberwolves are currently playing versus, let me double check that. Yeah, Timberwolves playing the Suns right now. Suns up 21 to 16. Mind you, we got another game coming up against the Timberwolves, guys. And, since we won tonight, if the Timberwolves lose, we'll be like half a game back or something like that. So up Friday, it's going to be a huge game. We could overtake them for the 7th seed. But for now, we locking up that 8th seed. And that's huge news after the horrible loss we had to Chicago at our home court. I knew that was a fluke loss. It felt like a fluke loss. Felt like the rotations were off again. It felt like everything was just off that day. Our team is way better than the Bulls team. And it feels good to shut up a hater like Patrick Beverly, who thought he was going to sweep us in the little 2 mini-game series back-to-back. Nah, bro. He got punched in the mouth, and they held him to a bagel. I saw him trying to take it up on LeBron, and LeBron was ready this time. His pride showed up, and he was, ready for him to try to shoot. He second-guessed himself. That's why he went 0 for 5, and he was about to get swatted. He's lucky he didn't shoot it there. But I just love the fact that they came out here and they played with some real pride. And again, topped off by the celebration. The same thing Pat did to us, Austin Reeves did to Pat. And you got to love it, man. If you don't love that type of heart, I don't know what to tell you. This player is a hooper, man. He said, Dan, the Lakers fan, acknowledge me, please. He said, sure, you will appreciate this reference. Yes, of course, man. Metal World Peace. How can I forget, brother? The champion. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. He said, bad news, Flippers won. Doesn't matter, man. Listen, Lakers just got to stay on pace to get a top 8 seed. That's been my goal all along. Because even if we make it to the play-in, I just want us to minimally play 1 game. That's it. If we have to play 2 games, it's a problem, right? Even if you win the first one, you got to play the second one if you're 9 or 10. But if you're a top 8 seed, you just got to win 1 game. Hopefully the first one, you don't even have to play the second one, right? So that's what you got to do. We don't deserve Lonnie. Yeah, man, it's unfortunate. Him and Max Christie, honestly, probably would have had better showing than Malik Beasley tonight. But he got to get out of his feelings, man. There's something wrong with Darvin because it's like he doesn't see what's going on the floor. Every time out he would call and he left Malik Beasley, I was going crazy because I'm like, dude, he's not there mentally tonight. Give him a rest. Don't play him. I understand his whole philosophy about letting players shoot themselves out of a slump. But when you're on the road, you're talking about one of the 7th and final games you're playing this season. You need to get that win, period. That's it, LeBron and AD are a great duo. I love it, man. I love it. We're back to 500 tonight. Friday, we go over 500. I'm calling it here first. We're going to beat them Timber Pups, man. And we're coming for that 7 seed as well. So Friday, we coming for number 7. Keith said, yes, sir. Ham grew a brain tonight and played Rui. Christie needs to get some Beasley's playing time. A great show of urgency and effort by the Lakers. AD was that man tonight. I had a feeling that we're going to come out, man. I tweeted it this morning. Lakers are going to come out here. They're going to leave their footprints on the floor. They're going to dent the hardwood. They're going to leave a crease on it from how hard they're going to play. Major credit to the unsung hero of all this, man. My boy, what's his name? Vanderbilt. My bad. Jared Vanderbilt, man. Jared Vanderbilt Never gets the numbers on paper, but defensively, this dude is everywhere, man. He only had 8.7 rebounds and 2 assists, right? A casual might look at the stat sheet and say he sucks. But if you're paying attention to the way he's shading everybody, I mean, think about it. You're Zach LaVine. You got this 6'9" with 7 foot, who knows what wingspan, shading you, fighting through screens, staying attached to your body, contesting every shot. You're going to get worn out throughout the course of the game. Same thing with DeRozan. He is our anchor, man. If we're talking about heart and soul, Austin Reeves is that offensively for us. And then Jared Vanderbilt is that defensively. Okay. Obviously, the best player is still LeBron James. Anthony Davis, when he wants to be tonight, Anthony Davis masterclass. 38 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Told you guys I needed at least a 30 piece. He did that. But Jared Vanderbilt, listen, DeRozan, only 22 points. Okay. Zach LaVine, only 16. Vucevic went off somewhat. But again, my boy Vanderbilt can't guard everybody. So Vando, to me, is such an unsung hero, man. And he is just phenomenal. I mean, defensively, I wouldn't ask for a better defender in this league that I can think off the top of my head. We need to re-sign this kid quick, all right, to an extension. I know we can opt into a, but if we can get him on a discount now before his value goes way up and the rest of the league wakes up, before he becomes a free agent the next season, I say instead of just opting into the next year, you try to extend this man. He is the truth, man. Him by himself would have been worth the trade for Russell Westbrook. And I know Russell had a good game tonight, but 1 in a million is not going to impress me. All right. For me, what Vanderbilt has done is he's changed the culture defensively of this team. Okay. This is a team that was very spotty defensively. There were nights when we had great nights and nights when we had poor nights. This dude has been phenomenal. Just a sensation to watch defensively. Reminds me of the old school Lakers when they had Trevor Ariza, man. It's wonderful. My boy said Troy Brown drives me crazy. 3-point plays. Troy Brown is inconsistent as well. I do like him better off the bench. I think this is the perfect starting lineup. Do you guys agree? Anytime they were out there together, they were a plus 20 on the floor. Their first time together, they were a plus 20. So I love this lineup. This is the one I've been asking for since the trade. I always wanted to see Austin Reeves start. People said, nah, Danny's better off the bench. And although I agree he provides a spark off the bench, we need better starts. As you can see, when we get off the better starts, we kind of control the pace and the tempo of the game. So even though they make runs, we used to be that team that had to come from behind, and you'll overexert yourself trying to come back all the time. And then you that's how you risk injuries, by playing extra hard, trying to, recapture the lead. That's how you risk you just overexert yourself. By the end of the game, you're huffing and puffing. So Reeves got to continue to be a starter for the simple fact that he completes us. Him and D'Angelo backcourt is perfect. They could both hit clutch shots. They could both draw fouls. They could both knock down free throws. They can both actually D'Lo plays some solid defense. I used to think he was going to be a weakness defensively when we traded for him. He's improved tremendously since the last time we saw him here in Los Angeles. So credit to D'Lo for that. He even had a couple plays where he poked the ball away. That's why Pat got a bagel, right? Pat would attack, and then he ripped them a couple of times. So I love it. I love the fact that backcourt is working tremendously beautiful. And then obviously you got LeBron, another playmaker. LeBron looks like the Terminator out there. I mean, there was a play when he was coming down transition and he switched into another gear that I had not seen in a couple years from LeBron. When he did that, it reminded me of Kobe when he went to get his procedures over there in Germany, and he would just start dunking on people and all that. If we get that type of a burst from LeBron James and he can sustain it throughout the course of the playoffs, watch out, NBA, because LeBron is not playing games. This dude is the king for a reason, right? I love it, man. Somebody asked me if the Lakers could sign Nazi Reed. I don't even know. I haven't looked into free agency, but I'm a big fan of Nazi Reed. All right, I was hoping he would have been included in the package with the Timberwolves. That dude is the backup big that we've been clamoring for years. I mean, he could space the floor. He could defend, rebound. He could slash. He finishes really well. I'd love to have him, but I'm not sure if that's a possibility. I had to look into that. My guy said the best Laker Nation podcast, facts and on facts. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. God bless. That means a lot. Man, that means a lot. And by the way, man, this Laker team is just getting started, all right? This is the first game they played together, right? The first game. And look, the turnovers were not pretty tonight, okay? I'll tell you that. We have 15. My target goal is 13 or less, right? So that was a lot. But points in the paint, 60, man. We cooked down there. Total rebounds, we out-rebounded them by 13, 45 to 32. Offensive rebounds, we had 13. Again, credit to AD and Vando, man. They have become a powerful front court duo, man. Um, it's amazing what the right starting lineup can achieve for this team. Think about it. They relinquished the lead, but it was really the bench. The starters never did. Every time the starters came in, led by LeBron and Austin Reeves and AD, they kept pushing the lead back up. So that's usually when you have the right starting lineup, that's what's going to happen. We're going to get off to quicker starts. We're going to control the tempo of the game. Now it's up to Darvin Ham to find the right rotations. Okay. And this is what I'm doing if I'm Darvin Ham. What he has right now is fine, except when Beasley plays like this. When Beasley plays like this, you definitely got to give some minutes to Lonnie Walker. You definitely got to give some minutes to Max Christie if possible. And you got to make the right things happen, man. Bottom line. But yes, Laker family, looks like we're currently locking up the AC for now. And like I said, my prediction was 6 through 8. One of those. We're going to end up with one of those. It's looking good right now. But still, anything can change, right? Obviously, we still got 6 games left. That Friday game is going to swing momentum one way or the other, okay? Because us and the Pelicans are tied, but remind you, we have the tiebreaker. So we hold the AC. The Timberwolves, on the other hand, they have the tiebreaker. So we need to beat them. We need to beat them and we need to hope for them to lose as well if we're going to have a chance versus the Minnesota Timber Pups. For reals. So that game is going to be super crucial. Dan, would you take Kyrie and give up D'Lo? If it's a 1-for-1, yes. All right, because you're talking about a player that's supremely talented offensively. However, if it's going to take the core of young pieces like Austin Reeves, D'Lo, and Vanderbilt, no. I prefer to have the depth, and I think D'Lo fits here wonderfully. I actually think LeBron really likes playing with D'Lo. You're talking about a true floor spacer who can let LeBron and AD operate, and attack. It creates more lanes because the defense has to stay honest on him. He's a very good shooter. Very good shooter. It's rarely when he has a bad night. It'll happen to everybody. But his floor spacing, he's like he's kind of like a little mini Curry. He's not as good, obviously, but he's like half the talent, but a lot of heart. And I love that about him. He's really clutch. He hits clutch buckets. I don't know if you guys noticed, since he's been back, he's probably hit like 5 or 6 clutch buckets already. And he's only played for 130, man, for 1/3 of the season. So not even 30 games, right? Think about that. So it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy to see what happens in the offseason, but I really like our team as it is right now. But I do believe that a lot is going to depend on how we finish in the postseason. If the stronger we finish, the stronger the possibility of bringing back every single piece. Again, I've mentioned this before. We need to bring in as well. Like, I would bring in everybody and just add Stanley Johnson to the 15th spot. That's what I'm doing. Because can you imagine Stanley Johnson's defense and attacking it? He's a good slasher too. He was attacked. People forgot he cooked Rudy Gobert, one of the top defenders in the league. He cooked them last season when he was on our team, and he was playing some amazing defense. He was even knocking down shots. Can you imagine if you add him to Vanderbilt, to Austin Reeves? Dennis, sometimes when he plays good defense, Dennis is a good defender as well. LeBron, when he's into it, Anthony Davis, we're talking for sure the best defensive team in the league, inside and out. And of course, it'd be nice to add another backup big. If that's Mo Bamba, if he comes back healthy and he shows something, then that'll be him. But in the offseason, maybe we could sign. I don't know what the CBA rules are, but I'm sure that rule comes up in the offseason. Phantom Dancer said, good game today, but if we want a serious shot at the chip, we better keep this up. Keep playing around and losing games. We should be winning. You're absolutely right. We should not have lost on Sunday either. We should have already been, up by the 7th seed if we're being honest. You're right about that. But the good thing, think about this, Laker family. Since we made this trade, we've only lost back-to-back games one time. One time. Other than that, every time we lose, we go on like a 2-3 game winning streak. Now you might say, Dan, that's not a big deal. But it is, because when you're in the postseason, you're in a 7-game series. If that is, if this is a sign of what's to come, then when the Lakers lose a game in the playoffs, they're going to go on a 2-3 game win streak. They're going to win a lot of playoff series as that happens, right? So you catch my drift, right? I think it's a great sign that the Lakers have been able to bounce back after a horrible loss. And that's actually the mark of a really, really good team. They make the adjustments. I mean, clearly, night and day. We were doubling to get the ball out of DeRozan and Zach LaVine's hands defensively. We were scheming. I will give the coach credit for that because he definitely did his homework. I saw the sense of urgency from the moment we came out here, on the court. And then, they played extremely smart. They played team ball. It was night and day. It was just a different. And I know part of that is because D'Lo also played, and LeBron played a lot better in the second game back. Those two factors were major factors, but it was the defense was so much better. Think about it, man. So if this is an indication of how the Lakers might look in the postseason, then I think we can go very far, if not all the way, very far. And that is a sign of a good team, maybe even a great team. Great team if we get to the finals, of course, or even the Western Conference Finals. I will say I will give this team the title of great team. But I'm a wait and see approach because every time we go up, right, we start going up, we hit a little bump in the road. So when the Lakers start, smoothing out those little issues, right, the rotations, the feelings over facts BS that Darvin Ham rolls with sometimes and stuff like that, I think it'll make us 10 times better. When we strengthen and start playing the best players possible in the rotation and off our bench, you're not going to see a lot of lost leads. And as a result, LeBron will get more rest. He'll be healthier for the next game and fresher legs and all of the above, right? So that's how I feel about this team, man. Right now, we are a good team, right? But we're on the fringe of becoming a great team. But in order for that to happen, like I said, we need to continue this trend of, winning 2-3 in a row every time you lose one. You got to. You make the adjustments. You start getting momentum. Start getting confidence. They play a lot better. They did that. And like I said, I love this starting lineup. This starting lineup is my dream scenario starting lineup. I didn't think the coach was going to have the guts to pull it off, but he did that. So I will give Darvin Ham credit here. Okay, every time there's been a problem in the starting lineup, he eventually adjusts. It might be, it took a while. I mean, Beasley was in there for what, 10, 11 games? But eventually he got there. That's one thing I can say for him that I couldn't say for Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel left DeAndre Jordan in the starting lineup for 40 games. By the time he took him off, the season was over. So I will give him credit there. He's a slow learner, but he is a learner. And now, I hope that the next game he'll learn that, hey, if Beasley or somebody's not shooting well, you play the other cats, right? So that's all it's minor tweaks. It's not even like this coach is horrible as in a sense that he's trash. It's more that he's been horrible with the rotations and he's stubborn. I think those are the biggest issues that I have with Darvin Ham. But if he can get his shit straight and he can come out here, play the right, like I said, rotations and make the proper adjustments, then I'm on board, man. Because we know he loves giving young players confidence. I mean, I'll give him major credit for Austin Reeves' development lately. I'm pretty sure Austin Reeves does the same. He's one of the reasons a lot of coaches don't give young players like Reeves this type of, leeway. So I do give him credit in that sense that he's giving some guys equal opportunity. Where I don't like it is where he sticks with a certain player even when he's struggling far too much to the point that sometimes that player can shoot us out of the game. Like, for example, tonight, Malik Beasley. Prayers up to him and his family. They're going through something tough, but he just didn't have it going tonight. He should have just sat him down. That's okay. We're not going to think of you any less if you do that. All right? It's that simple, guys. All right. Any questions? I know you guys are hyped, man. Listen, Lakers back at 500 at 38-38. They've reclaimed the 8th seed for the night, and we face the Minnesota Timber Pups on Friday. By the way, around the league coming tomorrow, man, we got a lot to talk about. Hopefully you guys tap in. Make sure you hit that comment, like, subscribe if you already haven't. Hit that post noti bell because we're going live at 5 p.m. Pacific time, right? I already got all the slots locked in there. Where did I get this hoodie? Oh, man, let me see if I can remember. It was either Spencer's at the mall or it might be Spencer's. Yeah, I think it was Spencer's at the mall, bro. He said, how about the Mavericks, Dan? What's up with them? Well, I'm glad you brought it up because I almost forget about them. They're an afterthought at this point. Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks made a trade out of spite because they saw LeBron and Kyrie were about to reunite and it was going to be trouble for the league. So they went ahead and threw in their blue chips and they basically oversold because it hasn't been a good fit for them. And Kyrie, I don't even think Kyrie wanted to be there in the first place. I really do believe he wanted to be here with us. The chemistry isn't there. They have no defense over there. They're getting cooked by the Charlotte Hornets. They're getting cooked by everybody. Heck, the Charlotte Bobcats came back and they started cooking. Like everybody's cooking that team right now. And they lost again tonight, man. And I'm not surprised. That's what you get, though, for trying to block a trade instead of – I've always said this. Teams should never deal in bad faith to try to block trades or prevent stuff from happening. They should always deal to make their team better. Remember, when the Pelicans didn't want to trade AD to us, their GM got fired because the owners were like, wait a minute, we want to do what's best for the franchise, and that's the best package to offer, right? That was at the time that was the best package on the table by far. We gave them multiple draft picks. Now, what they did with those is not our fault, right? We gave them like 3, 4 young pieces. We gave them all kinds of stuff, man. Brandon Ingram. Uh, so they didn't want to accept that deal, and they were dealing bad faith. Their general manager got fired, right? And the new one that got hired immediately made the trade with the Lakers the very recurring summer. So you should never deal in bad faith. This is instant karma coming to the Dallas Mavericks and Mark Cuban, who's always been a Laker hater, man. Gabriel said, in my opinion, and I'm a big Laker fan, Beasley needs to shoot with more confidence when he's hesitant. As of late, he needs to get his head back in the game. He's a much better player than what he's been displaying, for sure. You know, it's one of those things that I'm just like, a lot of players come to LA and they freeze up. And a lot of it is the pressure from the fan base. A lot of it is the media, social media. A lot of it is whatever it may be. Not everybody's built for this, man. He has to prove that he's built for this. He's still got time. I like him so much better off the bench, but tonight he just didn't have it going. I was like, remove him immediately before we lose. Luckily, the starting lineup came back in and regained everything they had lost. So think about it. Had him and Dennis not came off the bench like that, we probably would have won by 30 tonight. That's how good the starting lineup played. Isn't that insane? At least by 20. Lakers probably won't sign anyone with their final roster spot. Maybe not this season. And I'm shocked because usually a team tries to get some insurance policy type players, right? You want to go in with a full roster just in case you need extra bodies, right? But I am shocked. This is the first time that I'm like, they're leaving the 15 roster spot open. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life as a Laker fan. Eventually that spot goes to somebody. Heck, even Cole Swider with the 15, converting him from a two-way to an actual spot, like even that would have not shocked me. But I don't know. I don't know what the Lakers are thinking. Maybe they forgot they have one. Somebody should let them know. I don't know. He said, I want the Clippers in the first round. Me too, bro. Me too. I want to put that little fan base, all 7 of them, to peace. You know, I want to put them to rest already because I'm sick of hearing the fake. I mean, Paul George has been talking crazy in his podcast, talking about if it wasn't the bubble, they would have won the championship. As in, basically, he making all kinds of excuses. Ball is ball, man. That's one thing you're always taught. Like, growing up in my neighborhood, man, listen, the Samoan kids, they put up a hoop by the tree, and we used to hoop there. Ball is ball, man. Nobody ever makes excuses. You're playing luxury basketball, all right? If anything, it actually showed how mentally weak you guys were, and you weren't battle tested. So you would have lost either way, whether it was a regular championship or a bubble championship. Matter of fact, the bubble championship, it took a lot more mental, endurance to get through that thing and win. So that's why I thought, the 2020 championship is one of the most impressive ones because it took a lot to win it. Guys had to be put through a lot, and they were basically locked up, right? So PG and his excuse making just shows how fragile he is mentally, him and his whole team, and it's, he said, what? Wait, Paul George has a podcast channel? I guess. I'm not sure if he does. I don't want to misinform you, but I have seen clips that people have sent me of him talking crazy. And I'm like, this dude, man, I don't know. Somebody dropped him or something. He said no strip club in the bubble. Facts, bro. Facts. I don't get it. I don't get why the excuse making. Look, take your L. You balled and you sucked and you got eliminated by the better team, which was the Denver Nuggets, which I predicted that year that if they went off against them, they would eliminate them. I like the matchup. And people thought I was crazy when they went up 3-1. They're like, you tripping, Dan. You're just a Clipper hater. I'm like, nope. Just watch. Wait and see. I was like, the series is not over. And sure enough, like clockwork, the Clippers crumbled. And much to I was so excited about that. I was like, oh, Dan Stradamus was born. All these predictions always happening. He said, Brown is a good defender. He just gets handsy at the end of plays and gives up too many and one plays. That is true. They got to be more disciplined. We got to, figure out ways to keep defending well without fouling because these officials, man, you can't even cast a shadow over your defender because they're going to call a flagrant. Like, it's soft, man. It sucks, right? So it is what it is. It's the modern NBA. We just have to adjust to it. The good news is that we have a foul baiter ourselves. I mean, talk about good karma. Like we've been suffering so much from, not like bad calls against us that now we have our own player, Austin Reeves, who's a master at drawing fouls. So they're going to get some of the same frustration they've been giving us for years. They don't know how to guard that kid because he knows how to use his body, very similar to a lot of other players that have been masters at drawing fouls, guys like Trey Young that people hate. Bottom line, though, I don't like flopping, but the way Austin does it is he doesn't just flop. He actually draws a foul. He's really tough. You know that? A lot of times he gets hit in the face. He gets shoved. He gets pushed. He takes charges. That dude is a real hooper. That's the difference between him and somebody I dislike like Harden. Harden, guys like that, they just flop. Are they skilled? Sure, but the flopping is egregious. With Austin Reeves, it's different, man, because he's actually taking the contact, right? He's actually doing what. Remember when Kobe used to do he used to use his pivot foot to like spin, and then he would like double pump fake, and then when the defender was up in there, he would like draw the foul. Austin Reeves does a lot of that. I mean, you can tell he studied his game because he's got that little mini mamba in him, and he draws fouls extremely well. He has great footwork. He just does all the right little things to get himself to the free throw line, and people just can't stand it, right? Because they're Laker haters or whatever. He did that no call when Reeves scored on Beverly. Yeah, and sometimes look, people are starting to complain about it because they don't know how to stop it. And now that he's getting less calls, but he still knows what to do, man. He still knows what to do. He's getting out there and doing some crazy good things for us. And his playmaking is phenomenal as well. My favorite thing about him is his fearless. I mean, come on, too small? Come on, bro. This is a second-year player telling a veteran who likes to yap a lot that your ass was too small for the situation, man. You were too small for LA. That's what that was. He said, Trevor from Laker Nation said that Beasley is dealing with some of his family stuff. He may be distracted. No, I totally understand, man. And like I said earlier, prayers up for him. I wish him all the best. I'm not going to go and troll him like these player fans and say crazy stuff for him. No, I'm just stating the obvious. I think that if a player isn't playing good, you just sub him out. And that's on the coach. I'm not even mad at Malik Beasley. Like Trevor Lane said, couldn't have said it better. Dealing through some personal stuff. It happens to all of us. I wish him the best, man. Prayers up for him and his family. But it's on the coach. You got to deal with the situation better, right? Bottom line. Gabe, I appreciate the Cash App, bro. He said, for prediction, how the Lakers will finish the season in playoffs. Man, okay. All right. Now, if we can situate the bench situation, we can get that under control. I think this team can go very far. I'm talking at least Western Conference, at least, depending on the matchups and everything, of course. And of course, we have to be healthy. All these different variables and factors are going to factor into this. But LeBron looking spry, man. He's looking healthy. Austin Reeves' emergence on this team, finally given the opportunity in the starting lineup, it's been sensational. D'Lo makes us a different team. He's just a true floor general and a floor spacer for us. When Anthony Davis plays motivated, he is one of the best top 5 players in the NBA. When he doesn't, so all these variables and factors, assuming everything goes well, I got us going to the finals. But that's assuming everything goes well. The minorest, littlest hiccups and injuries and details could come back to bite us. But we get Mo Bamba back soon. AD stays healthy. LeBron stays healthy. Austin Reeves keeps doing what he's doing. D'Lo keeps doing what he's doing, and we get the bench situation ready. We're going to the finals, baby. And hopefully we bring in number 18 back. Hopefully, that's the goal, right? Now, that's not to say that I guarantee we're going to the finals because, like I said, there's a lot of different variables, man. Matchups are going to matter in the Western Conference. We don't even have the matchups yet. I can't wait to drop that video when the matchups actually happen. We have set in stone who's going to face who in the first round. I'm going to bring you guys a separate video to talk about all the matchups, my predictions then for each series, and all that good stuff. So again, if you guys are basketball junkies like yours truly, then you're in the right place, man. Hit that. By the way, around the league with yours, man, truly. Tomorrow is going to be spectacular. I recommend you guys tap in, man, for reals. He said, Bucks finals. My Brewers need to beat the Cubs. The Bucks in the finals. We might face the Bucks in the finals. Look, everybody thought it was going to be Boston early. That's the beauty of sports. So it's a long season. It could still be Boston, but momentum has kind of shifted away from them. The Bucks are looking great right now. Philly was looking a lot better. A lot of teams looking great. I can't wait for these playoffs. They're going to be out of this world, yo. I'm really looking forward to them. He said Reeves, LeBron, AD, Vando, and D'Lo scored 107 of our points. Where was Dennis and Rui or Beasley? And that's the thing, Drew. That's the thing is that these are new lineups and new rotations. Those guys still have to get used to each other off the bench. They'll step up. We have a deep bench. Dennis can be really deadly when he wants to be, but his body language is sometimes mopey. It's almost like he don't want to come off the bench. He needs to get with the program. Once he buys in, if he gives us the same production he was giving us as a starter when he was killing, we'll be straight. All right, he can lead our bench unit. I love Rui off the bench. I think Lonnie and Max need some minutes there. Wenyan's energy is very infectious. I hope Malik Beasley comes around. I'm rooting for the guy, man. We got to root for everybody who's a Laker. So I'm really rooting for him. It hasn't been great since we acquired him, to be honest. He's only had like 2, maybe 3 max good games, but there's still a chance. If he gets right mentally, I think he has a chance to make somewhat of an impact. I like him much better off the bench than starting. But if he does have a repeat performance where he's literally throwing the ball to the defense, he seems unconfident dribbling the ball up the court. For a guard, that's very worrisome. If we have a repeat performance like that, then he's going to need to hit the pine, okay? And it's nothing personal. It's just I love my team more than individual players, you know? And but I'm really rooting that he can get back on track, you know, when he was knocking down 7 threes and stuff like that. That could be huge for us. He said, Lakers are not finals team. Laker fans are super thirsty to crown this team. You didn't hear what I said, and you're super thirsty to hate on the channel, so bye, Felicia. But it's hilarious how people just take little bits and parts of what you say, and then they make up their own narrative. It's just hater narrative. Laker fans, they're like, bro, you're on our channel. What does that make you? If we're thirsty, right, which is being a fan, you should be thirsty for your team to get to the finals. But if we're thirsty, what does that make you? That's weird. That's really weird. That's like almost stalkerish. Celtics will not make the Eastern Conference Finals, and Dallas won't make the play-in tournament. I think those are great outcomes, if you ask me. I think those are amazing outcomes, if you ask me. You know, I dislike both of those teams. Even though I like Kyrie and Luka, I don't like their owner. Katrina, thanks for the shout-out. Appreciate you. If you know, you know. You guys will be here tomorrow at 5 p.m. if you know what's good for you, man. He said, love around the league, Dan. She said, love around the league, Dan. You guys make it so much fun and entertaining. Can't miss it. It is. It's really fun, for reals. It's a blast. So thank you again for the shout out, Katrina. Stalker. The facts. He's on the wrong channel. Why would anybody go on somebody else's channel just to say something so uneducated like that? I never said I guarantee the finals. That's not what I said. I said we have the talent if everything goes according to plan. But I think almost every good team can feel that way. I think the Warriors and their fans feel that way. If the Warriors are healthy and they get Wiggins back, they feel like they can make it to the finals. I feel like, a lot of fan bases feel that way. However, I can talk from an educated standpoint where we've seen what LeBron and AD can do when they're both healthy and they got the right role players around them. So I'm not just talking out of my backside. That's the difference. You know, but a lot of fan bases are probably what that dude described, but Laker fans are one of the most educated. Remember, I dropped that video about why we're the most hated because we seem to be right a lot of times. That's why we got to smack trolls, you know, left and right. Any updates on Mo Bamba? He's going to be reevaluated, last I heard, and I think 6 or 7 days, something like that. So that's not a good sign because that means we still got to wait another week before we even know, you know, how soon he's coming back. But then again, there's mixed reports on this. So I'll give you guys a real update when it happens. That's what you call a troll? Bro, I block those on the daily. You have no idea. But I'm so numb to it. It's like it doesn't impact me, bro. It's like I'm so used to, stupid online internet trolling opinions. There's a dime a dozen, especially on Twitter. Oh, my goodness. Twitter is like a nesting ground for a lot of troll fans. He said, we've done it before, so yeah, we expect the finals. And it's not even that I expect it. It's just the question was, where do I predict this team will be? What are my predictions? And what I said was, if everything aligns, then yeah, I think we're good enough to at least get to the Western Conference Finals. If everything aligns. Of course, there's going to be different variables and factors, things we have to overcome, poor officiating, hopefully no more injuries, but that could be a factor as well. Rotations. I mean, all that has to, and that's the thing from a championship, from a fan that's seen so many championships in my lifetime, right? Everything lines up around the right time, and that's how you win the championship. It happened to us recently in 2020. Everything lined up. All of a sudden, we hit. Frank Vogel tightened up his rotations. He removed JaVale McGee from the start lineup because he was getting punked in the playoffs. He put in Dwight. Caruso even started in the finals. I mean, he made the right adjustments. So that lined up. Playoff Rondo showed up when he was kind of sketched during the regular season. So even veterans like Rondo stepped it up another notch. And he was tremendous for us during that playoff run. So that lined up. AD and LeBron were AD and LeBron, just prime versions of them, just phenomenal. Kuzma played phenomenal defense, knocked down shots, did what he had to do. He wasn't always consistent, but he did what he had to do. KCP was like Rip Hamilton in the playoffs for us. So when I say things have to align, is you just kind of have to hit your stride at the right time. The good news is that, like I said, since we made this trade, we have a winning record. That's number one. Number two, if you get into a 7-game series, it's a good sign that every time you lose, for the most part, you bounce back with a couple of wins. That's usually what it takes to win in the postseason, because you're not going to sweep everybody. There's going to be nights when you take L's, maybe even back-to-back L's, and you're going to be shooketh. But the good news is you have somebody like King James on your side who's been there many times, and he'll, gather the troops around and rally them. You have also AD that now is a champion. So that should help us out of certain situations like that. And it's going to be a lot of overreaction in the playoffs because, again, a lot of fair weather fans are going to say, we lose 1 or 2 games, it's over, Dan. Trade them all. There's going to be a lot of that. But that's why I'm here, man. I'm here, to settle down, to settle everybody down and kind of just be like, okay, let's separate real basketball conversation from trolling and let's figure this out together. So that's usually what I tend to do around the postseason. He said, for some reason, I'm not even worried about the Suns, even with Durant. I just don't buy it. They're a deep team. They're probably our biggest threat because of Durant. Durant, he steps his game up in the postseason for the most part. And the good news is that we have the Durant stoppers on this team. We have a lot of size now that we didn't have before the trade deadline. We have guys like Vanderbilt. You could throw on him, slow him down a little bit. You ain't going to stop Durant, but you can slow him down and make him work harder for it. And throughout the course of a 7-game series, hopefully he runs out of gas. We've seen that happen versus Boston a couple of years back when they got eliminated. They got swept, or was it last year when they got swept? Him and Kyrie. So it's possible. Okay, it's not impossible. However, I always said the Suns are still another real killer away from being a true contender. And they got him. His name's Kevin Durant. All right. Now, I don't like him. I don't respect him. But I shouldn't say I don't respect him. I respect his talent. I don't like his personality. He's very, he gets offended very easily. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see that if we ever face off against them in this playoffs. I think we have what it takes to beat them, but it's going to take everything. And it's going to take us playing smart and trying to take him out, right? And so it's going to be hard because if you double team Booker, you take him out of the game. He hates double teams. He's very weak-minded. But now they got a real killer they can go to, right? You double team KD, he could get you in foul trouble. He could find open shooters. He can do other things. He's not going to get discombobulated like Book or Chris Paul even, who's choked in a lot of big moments, right? So it's different. It's going to be a different team for sure. But I'm excited. It's a good challenge. And like I said, man, if it ain't worth the struggle and if it ain't going to be hard fought, I don't want it. Every championship has been hard fought for the Lakers, and this year we're battle tested. So at the very least, I know for a fact we are about to put up a fight no matter who we face. Kane Carter, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for super chat. He said, off topic, but fun fact. 2 most hated Lakers last season, Russ, THT, both dropped 36 and 41, got wins today. Russ was hated because of his personality, not so much because we know he can do what he can do. But he is also a turnover machine, and he's very selfish. Now, is he buying in with the Clippers right now? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't watched. After they got off that 4 or 5 game losing streak, I stopped watching. Not a Clipper fan, so I can't stand to watch their boring-ass games. With that LA Times font and then beach volleyball jerseys. Yuck. I don't watch that shit. So I wouldn't know, bro. You educated me on this. I didn't even know Russ dropped anything. As far as THT, I told people a long time ago, and I was actually not happy about the trade when we got Pat Beverly because THT always had potential. He took a step back because of the other guy you mentioned, Russell Westbrook. They were both coming off the bench, and Russ was just a black hole. He was just a ball hog with tunnel vision who didn't really make his teammates that much better. This is the type of games he likes to play when he gets a bunch of numbers. If they win in spite of that, so be it. But THT, man, he's going to be a hooper. I said it a long time ago. I've always been a great scout of talent. It was all about opportunity, man. And THT's finally getting that opportunity. So I'm not surprised at all. And I wish him the best. And shout out to the Jazz. They hooked us up with a great trade, right? After they ripped us off. They took Stanley the Manly Johnson and THT for Pat Bagel Boy Beverly. Um, that was a rip-off trade. And I didn't like it when it happened. I don't like it now. But they made up for it when they gave us Vanderbilt in that package, man. Vanderbilt. So, yeah, I am still appreciative. But I'm happy for THT. At least he's not a Clipper. At least he's not a Celtic. So I can still root for him individually whenever he doesn't play us. Very happy for the young man. He's always been a hooper. I mean, people just have short-term memory loss. I feel like most of the hate he was getting was from player fans. You know, the same fans that are going on Beasley's profile saying, don't mess up LeBron's legacy. Those weirdos, bro. Them is the ones that be hating on everybody. Like they were hating on Kyle Kuzma too, and I told him he was a bucket. Those are the ones, you know. So, but you're preaching to the choir. I always knew THT was going to be a hooper. I knew Kuzma was going to be a hooper. Heck, I used to talk highly. If you guys been following me since back then, I used to love Julius Randle. I used to compare him between a mix of Kevin Garnett offensively and Lamar Odom. And I think I landed that comparison. What do you guys think? At least offensively, not defensively. I never said his defense was Kevin Garnett-esque. Okay. Brandon Ingram, I always knew he was going to be like a poor man's KD. I always knew it. You know, that's what he's turned out to be. If he wasn't always hurt, he would have been so much better by now. Kuz, I told you guys he was going to be, you know, at least an 18 to 20 point per game score, at least. He's done that. So I'd say my predictions have been pretty much on point with these young players. I'm glad you brought it up because I didn't even know THT went off like that. Wasn't paying attention to their game either, but I'm not surprised, man. That dude is a hooper for sure. And I think one thing where you can really distinguish the difference between a player fan and a true Laker fan is that Laker fans, we will constructively criticize our players but still root for them, while player fans will be like, oh, this guy, why does LeBron or why does AD or why does Russell Westbrook have to play with this trash? Get him off the team. They'll start hating literally on everybody else. And we talked about it pregame. It's just weird energy. I don't know how you can enjoy basketball like that, right? This is a team sport. You should be rooting for your whole team. Heck, I was even rooting for Patrick Beverly, even though I don't like him. So I was even rooting for Russell Westbrook, even though I went sour on him because of his bad personality late. But you know, it's just you can see the difference between true Laker fans and non-Laker fans. They talk like that. They'll call Kuzma Amber Rose, and they'll call THT as trash, and his hairline is all way back here. It's like an immature crowd, man. You know, it's a really immature crowd, and it's like, wow, you guys really don't watch basketball to watch basketball, huh? You guys are on some weird stuff. Like they'll watch basketball to see which player is cuter. We're talking about males too. We're not talking about females. So I just thought it's really weird, man. It's a different era nowadays. Everybody's getting canceled that speaks the truth, except for the people that should get canceled, which is all the trolls, right? But it is what it is, man. We're gonna tough it out. We're gonna ride out the storm. Once these these trolls officially leave our team, you're gonna see how great this fan base is, because they're like a dark cloud over our franchise. Like we don't need them here. You know, anybody that's not in it for this team, for the franchise, everybody that was calling Genie Bus cheap, anybody that was out here just saying, oh, you guys don't deserve LeBron, and all this weird, like 32 flavors of Baskin Robin type condoms, the protection on your favorite player is weird, man. That's weird energy. It's not basketball. Y'all treating basketball like you're watching wrestling and your favorite wrestler, and you're going to trash everybody else, or like it's MMA or boxing, or one of those individual sports. This is a team sport. So if you can't get behind the team, skedaddle, man. Scooch. Anybody watch John Wick the 4th? Oh, man, I was going to go watch it yesterday, but my girl was under the weather, so we didn't end up going, man. But yeah, now I got to wait till next week because the tickets be gone like this. Well, in IMAX. I don't want to see it regular, but the IMAX tickets be gone quick. But I heard it was great. Can't wait to see it, man. Big Keanu Reeves fan, you know. Any more music coming our way? We need some jams. I got you, Vic. I got you, bro. I have not hopped in the studio because I've been extremely busy, man, especially with tax season and getting stuff right. But I think probably, if not late this month, probably next month. Well, this month's almost over, so for sure next month I'll be dropping something, man. I was working on a thank you song to thank Laker Nation for 20K, and then I still got the 24K and the Lakers anthem that I'm gonna drop when we hit 24K. So yeah, there is music on the way. It's just I just gotta find the right time to get back in the studio. Kane Carter says Rui needs more touches. Duke can get 20 efficiently. He's a hooper. He should not have missed a game. That was my gripe. with Darvin last game. But like I said, it's just it's weird. It's almost like Darvin sometimes likes to poke fun at us. He'll say stuff like, "Oh yeah, Darvin for sure is gonna play today," knowing that we were upset about it last game. But then he doesn't play Lonnie. He's like, "Bro, why can't we have all the right pieces at the same time, right?" But it is what it is, man. At least we got the win tonight. Very excited about that. We secured the 8th seed again for another night, and then Friday we're going up against Mini, and Mini has, they're I think a game and a half above us or something like that. Are they even playing tonight? Let me double check that. Let me double check to see if Minnesota. I think they are, right. Let me see. But yeah, we play Minnesota on Friday. That one's gonna be huge, man. I think that one right there can put a stamp on our season. If we can pull that off right there, it's gonna be a tough game. By the way, they're up on the Suns by 3 right now. Minnesota's playing. They're up on the Suns by 3. Carl Towns got 20, 9 for Anthony Edwards. So they're doing work. On the other hand, the Suns' leading scorer is Devin Booker. KD only has 3 points, but he is coming back from injury, so I'm not going to critique him like that. Bottom line is this, man. Lakers making us proud. There's 6 games to go, Laker family. I hope the Lakers can win most of these. I'm talking 5 out of the last 6. Remember, their goal was to win 16. I think they've already won like 14 of those. So they're like 2 away from hitting their goal. Anything above that will exceed it. Very, very proud of this team moving forward. That's going to wrap it up for me, man. If you guys want to have more questions or anything, just save them for after this video post or for around the league tomorrow. And I got you guys, I promise, man. Can't wait to see you guys there tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Real quick shout out to my sponsorship, Prize Picks, man. Helping pay the bills. If you guys have not checked them out yet, it is the perfect time. Right before the playoffs. Listen, I think things are a lot more predictable. There's a lot bigger chance for you guys to win money off of this app, Prize Picks, when the playoffs roll around, because you start seeing the trends and the tendencies every game, every matchup, the deeper you get into playoffs. So I can't wait to cash in myself. I'm for sure going to play. I might even do a couple of entries here on this channel live after we do like a pregame or something like that. But that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you so much. Much love, Laker Nation. Lakers win. Signing off, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.